guys, another video from Off Market Ninja here. Oh, really? I thought I put this video together to show you a common mistake that wholesalers make. I get it all the time to where this wholesaler is selling me this property that obviously is overpriced, and it's because he has made this fatal mistake while running comps. Um, this happened to me in the past. So the scenario is you're running comps and you see this property. Well, let's use this is the example we're gonna be running. You see this but you're running comps in this neighborhood and you see the comps are pretty much around 100,000, right? Maybe under a little bit. But then you see this oddball right here at 654 and you get really excited because you're like, oh wow, that means my property is worth 600 plus or whatever, right? I'm here to tell you it's not. So, and I'm gonna tell you why this happens. It happens all the time. I get a wholesaler all the time that send me comps like this. So the scenario is that a lot of investors buy properties in bulk and they're called portfolios, right? So whenever a property is sold in a portfolio, the property appraiser and Zillow do not have a way to differentiate the price per property, so they give you the bulk price. So this, for example, you see it right here. This is the one we're looking at right here. This one, for example, was sold in a portfolio. All right. So if you're running comps in this neighborhood, this will come up as a comp, especially if you're running comps in this neighborhood and you're working on a 3-2 around 1900 square feet, right? That's gonna come up as a comp, but I'm here to tell you it's not a comp. Okay, the reason this is showing up as 600,000, it doesn't mean that the neighborhood has jumped up in price to 600,000. Doesn't mean that at all. So what I want you to do, it's whenever you see this, just put your detective hat on and go ahead and click on the property itself. I'll show you a little trick here. And Zillow is gonna say it's sold for 600,000, which technically it did, but it was a portfolio. It was a package of properties. It was sold in bulk, right? And also, I mean, I don't say this often, but look at this estimate. If this estimate, it's Zillow is not always wrong, even though they're mostly wrong, but they're not always wrong. So if this estimate is way too far from the sold price, most likely it's a package. All right. So you're gonna open up the property. You're gonna go in here. You're gonna go all the way down to, where is it? Yeah, right here. All the way down to price and tax history, and you're gonna hit this link right here in the bottom. It should be all the way in the bottom. It says county site. So you're gonna go to the county site, and what we're gonna do. Let me copy this address here. By the way, when you look it up on the county, they don't really care about the city, state, or the zip code. So all you have to really copy is they sometimes don't even care about the suffix like drive, street, or anything like that. So all you have to copy is that first part. All right, so I'm gonna go here, agree to that, and you see how this is set up. So I'm gonna paste this. That's my address, and then they don't want the number here, so 947. Make sure there's no spaces. You will have problems finding the property. This was in Stone Mountain. So that's that. I'm gonna hit search. Right. So now, what we have now is this property, and we have the owner of this property, or at least the person that did that huge sale, right? Another dead giveaway is when I go to price and tax history up here somewhere. Yeah, price and tax history is telling me that this property is been rented. So that tells me that this is a rental, most likely, right? So I don't know about your I don't know about your market, but in my market, rentals don't go for 600,000. It just doesn't happen. So you just gotta, again, put your detective hat on and figure it out. Okay. So now that we're here, right, we can open this up, and look at the property, and then what I want to see is the sales, right? So I want to find that sale of 600,000, which it will say that it sold for 600,000, right? It will say that. When was this? April 2021. So it will say that, and but there's a reason for that. So the guarantor is the person that sold. The guarantee is the person that bought it. So we're gonna copy this, the guarantee, and we are going to go back and do another search. All right, for the owner's name this time, right? You can see I done this already because we went through the same thing. All right, so you see that this owner owns several properties, right? So our property, it's right here, right? So let's look at this one, for example, right? And the sale was April 2021 for 654,000. So I'm sure if we go here, his sales right here, every no, this is not one. Every property appraiser site is different. But anyway, so if we hit, let's look at this one. That one wasn't in package because it didn't have the same sale price. Anyway, so we go here. We want to do this a few times to make sure. And here, there it is. So we see that this property also completely different property owned by the same owner, went from the same previous owner to the same owner or the same guarantee for the same amount of money and on the same day. So what it tells me is that this was a package, was a portfolio. So what happened is that KJ2 Holdings LLC had a portfolio which was sold to RS Rental LLC, one LLC, whatever, and it was sold for $600,000, right? You could do some more research and see how many properties were actually sold, but why would you do that, right? So what happens is that whenever you're looking at this property, and the property appraiser has it that this property was sold for 600,000. It wasn't, the property itself wasn't. It was a portfolio of a bunch of properties. So what Zillow's gonna do is gonna pick up that 600,000, put it on there for you, and actually any comping software that you have is gonna pick it up. So what I want you to do is anytime that before you send them to me, what I want you to do is put your detective hat on and think about, if everything else in the neighborhood is going for 100,000 or under 100,000, why is this one 600,000? I've seen it to where the house across the street is 35,000. There's one house for 35,000, and the one across the street is for 2 million. Again, same thing happened here. It's a portfolio, so you got to look more into it. 9 times out of 10, it's a portfolio. And that rare percentage, heck, I don't think that even happens. I don't know why anybody will pay $2 million for a $45,000 house unless it had gold buried under it or something. I don't know, but that does not mean that that's a comp for your property. So you guys got to be very careful when you're running comps. If you run into this, because I see it all the time when I get these numbers. I even see it when I get the email or whatever you send to me. I get the email and this property is obviously inflated. And I go and look more into it, and it's just that you used the comp that was a portfolio, and it shouldn't have been used as a comp. So just got to be careful with that. In the same token, you shouldn't use comps that are not. So for example, if this is 100,000, if you see one here for 25, most likely that was a property that wasn't rehabbed. Let me see if I find any that are not. Sorry. Let me see if I find any that are not rehabbed. So it's sold as a property that needed some work, maybe. So that maybe this $84,000 one is one of them. So you just gotta use. Oh, actually, it wasn't. That was actually a good deal. Anyway, so you just gotta use your detective hat and just look at this. Don't get too excited. Please don't send it to your buyers, because it's gonna make you look like you don't know what you're doing. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten that. before you get too excited about how much your property is worth now, um, just do your research before you do that. Another thing that happened the other day, and I can't remember the property, so I can't show you, but I'll tell you the story. I'll use this story. So there were two houses, right, one next to each other, that were sold as a package. The properties in the neighborhood were running for about $180,000. Um, and then so this package was sold 180 times two, which is 360,000. This wholesaler, of course, the property appraiser is gonna show that these two individual properties were sold for 360, right? Which they weren't. They were sold as a package for 360. But this wholesaler is sending me these comps as these properties sold for 360 for my property across the street or around the corner or whatever is worth 360. But it's not. So I went in, I looked at the comps that he had. He sent comps. I looked at the comps that he had, and I saw that one was next to each other. So that told me that was either a multifamily, right? Which you can't comp a multifamily with single family. It just doesn't, you can't do that. You can't comp a duplex with a single family home. It just won't. The numbers won't be right. Or it was sold as a package, and long and behold, it was a package, right? It was two identical properties right next to each other were sold as a package. And if you take that that three, it was 360 or maybe 350 something. If you take that 350 360 divide into two, it gives you the right amount of the property. Not that that's gonna work with, like, if you have 70 properties, for example, because each individual one will be, probably one's across the town, the other one it's, so it's not gonna work like that. But because there was a package of two, it was sold. All I did is I took that 360 and divided into two and gave me the true comp, right? So yeah, don't do that. You just gotta, when you're running comps, it's not an average of everything that's sold. It's an average of similar properties and properties that have been either rehabbed or in good condition, right? A similar property that are either rehabbed or in good condition. You shouldn't be running comps with properties that need work, and you shouldn't be running comps with properties that are obviously inflated because there was a portfolio purchase, right? Like this one. So I'll leave you with that. Just you gotta be careful when you're running these comps. Just put your detective hat on, do your research. Don't look like a rookie doing this, because this is definitely a rookie move. I see it all the time. I know you guys are trying to make money, and and you see this property. Wow, this sold for 600,000 just down the street. My property must be worth a lot more now. No, that doesn't mean that. You just gotta. I mean, I know we're in a good market right now. We're in a seller's market for sure. But the market's good, but it's not that good, right? So you just gotta make sure you do research. All right. Well, that's all I have for you guys. This is Jonathan, Off Market Ninja, offmarketninja.com. We have nationwide buyers for you. We have the A through Z wholesaling blueprint for you. So if you want to go ahead and get on that right now, it's only $30 a month, and the first 30 days are free. So I'm not sure how long that's gonna be for. But just go ahead and get in on it. If you have properties and you need buyers, we have nationwide buyers. Once you post it, it will automatically go to the buyers that match the buying criteria. And if you need some education, wholesaling education, and some help with other wholesalers and me myself, I help out a lot of people. If you need help wholesaling, go ahead and check us out, offmarketninja.com. Thank you very much, guys.